The next morning, a crisp autumn chill hung in the air. Sunlight streamed through the gaps in Steve's blinds, illuminating dust motes dancing in the otherwise dim room. He barely slept, Kyra's face, a mixture of defiance and vulnerability flashing behind his eyelids.
Operation Charm Offensive, Phase 2, he muttered to himself, a wry smile tugging at his lips. Time for reinforcements.
At Tim Hortons, the familiar aroma of coffee and baking donuts filled the air. Jeremy, already holding the trays laden with breakfast sandwiches and French vanilla coffees, waved Steve over.
You think this is going to work? Bribery with Timbits? She seems more the burn down the establishment type.
Worth a shot. Besides, who can resist a good Canadian breakfast? Even revolutionaries need fuel.
The drive to the group home was punctuated by Jeremy's skeptical sighs and Steve's increasingly nervous attempts at humor. As they pulled up, a figure emerged from the front door, clad in a bright pink Hello Kitty uncie. It was Kira.
Oh, good morning, Kira. How are you doing?
Been better. Never like people who weren't. You know, special needs. More comfortable around my own kind. No offense.
None taken.
I come bearing gifts. Tim Hortons.
Did you say? Timmy S.
Yeah? Timmy S.
Come in. Come in. Don't just stand there like a couple of moose in the headlights.
Inside, the aroma of toasted bagels filled the air. Lola, seated at the kitchen table, looked up from her breakfast with a warm smile.
We brought Timmy S.
Well, isn't that thoughtful? Come, sit down. Join me for a bit.
That comment about not liking people who want special needs, it was meant to be general, not personal.
The tension in the air eased slightly, the aroma of coffee and donuts a fragile truce.
You're a gentleman, Steve.
Thanks, Kira. So, about that museum. Still game.
I'd love to.
You know, I'd be up for a bowling rematch sometime.
You're on, Rogers. Prepare to be humbled.
Lola, having finished her breakfast, cleared her throat gently.
I've been meaning to call some contractors about the coffee shop. The inside needs a bit of work.
Anything I can do, Lola. Just name it.
What? How can you be on base and help her build a coffee shop?
A shadow seemed to pass over Steve's face, quickly replaced by a casual shrug.
Well, with the protests outside the base, things are a bit complicated right now.
Complicated? You mean you guys are a wall?
That's the long and short of it, Tina.
In any case, thank you both for offering to help. And thank you for the Tim Hortons.
My pleasure, Lola. Always happy to help.
Kira watched the exchange, her unease returning. Steve's easy charm seemed to slip for a moment, replaced by something harder, more guarded. The nagging feeling intensified, a sense of foreboding settling in her stomach. The fluorescent lights of the group home's dining room buzzed, amplifying Kira's unease.
You okay? You've barely touched your donut.
Just thinking.
Steve and Jeremy, are you ready to see the shop?
Ready when you are, Lola.
Lead the way.
Lola led Steve and Jeremy out, leaving Chira and Tina in the dining room.
Aim all do-gooders. You'd think they'd have enough to deal with.
The coffee shop was a wreck. Shattered glass crunched under Steve's boots. Tables lay overturned, chairs splintered, and cabinets ripped open.
They don't understand. This place. It's for people who need a little extra help.
People seldom care for those different than themselves, Steve.
Lola, how did you even start this place? The group home and the coffee shop. It's a lot.
Inherited a little money. Bought the shop. The girls who worked here needed a place. So I took them in. Set some ground rules. And the rest is history.
You're a good person, Lola. A truly good person.
Lola's smile faded, replaced by a weary frown.
It's going to take a lot to bring this place back to life.
We'll help you make it even better, Lola. Right, Jeremy?
Sure? Even better?
Something in Jeremy's tone, a subtle shift in his usual pragmatism, pricked at Steve's awareness. He glanced at his friend, a question forming in his mind.
Thing on your mind, Jeremy. You don't sound too keen on rebuilding this place.
It looks like a tornado hit a Taggers convention in here, Steve. A lot of work.
Come on, man. Helping people feels good. Plus, it might put us in the good graces of the Ice Queen.
He nodded towards where Kira had last been seen, though she was now absent.
You really think a little community service is going to melt a heart made of Canadian granite?
You're lucky there's not a 10-year age difference between you and Tina, or I'd be making the same jokes about you.
I thought you were all about comfort, Steve. Isn't that what you said about Canadian winters?
Speaking of comfort, I have a thought. Maybe if I ditch the uniform, folks around here might feel a little more comfortable. Less like they're under a microscope.
Jeremy raised an eyebrow, surprised by Steve's sudden shift in perspective. The ever-present uniform was a part of Steve, as familiar as his own skin.
You planning a fashion revolution, soldier? What brought this on?
Just a hunch. Stay here and help Lola. I ain't going to Walmart. Need some civilian clothes for this undercover operation. And maybe a peace offering. A giant box of Timbits, perhaps.
He winked at Jeremy, then turned and headed out the door. Jeremy watched him go. A mixture of amusement and concern etched on his face.
This is going to be interesting.
The broken glass crunched under his boots, a sharp counterpoint to the silence left by Steve's departure. The lingering smell of smoke and the stark graffiti seemed to mock the idea of a quick fix. Lola emerged from the back room, her face pale but resolute, carrying a box filled with cleaning supplies.
Where did Steve go?
Walmart. Civilian clothes reconnaissance mission. Apparently, camouflage isn't cutting it anymore. Walmart? Civilian clothes reconnaissance mission. Apparently, camouflage isn't cutting it anymore.
Lola nodded slowly, a flicker of worry crossing her face. The quiet hum of the refrigerator seemed to amplify the sudden stillness of the shop. She busied herself sorting through the cleaning supplies, her movements precise and economical. Jeremy continued sweeping, lost in thought. The broken glass crunched under his boots, a stark reminder of the vandalism. The air hung heavy with the smell of stale coffee and smoke.
It's a shame. We just repainted last month.
A sudden crash from the front of the shop shattered the fragile piece. Both Jeremy and Lola froze, their eyes wide with alarm.
Stay here and call 911.
He crept silently towards the front, peering around the corner. 3 figures were inside, spray cans in hand, adding to the existing graffiti. Jeremy recognized the leader, Matthew, from previous incidents. His heart pounded in his chest. Steve had chosen a terrible time to go shopping.
They're back. Stay put and keep the line open. I'll distract them.
Jeremy, what are you going to do? Be careful.
Jeremy gave her a reassuring nod, though his stomach churned with apprehension. He remembered his training years ago, a lifetime ago. It felt trusty, inadequate. He returned to the front, taking a deep breath before stepping out, his voice calm and steady.
Well, back for more, are we?
Who the hell are you?
I could ask you the same question. Though, I must say, you've done a thorough job of redecorating.
Could have done worse.
True enough. But I'm afraid you've been caught red-handed. By the owner, no less.
Owner? This place, I saw some American soldiers going in and out of here before. That's why we did it.
This is a workplace for people with special needs, not a military base. This is a workplace for people with special needs, not a military base.
Like I care.
Matthew's friends exchanged uneasy glances. A police siren wailed in the distance, growing louder.
Let's get out of here.
He shoved past Jeremy towards the shattered door. His friends followed, casting nervous looks back at Jeremy.
Hurry up!
The wail of the siren intensified. Suddenly, 2 police officers appeared at the entrance, guns drawn.
Jeremy, are you all right?
Fine. Just a bit of excitement.
The cops apprehended Matthew and his friends on the spot. As they were being led away, Steve returned, looking bewildered.
What did I miss?
Just saved the shop again. With Lola and the cops' help. Those thugs came back.
Why'd they target this place anyway?
They said they saw American soldiers going in on doubt.
Jeremy's gaze locked with Steve's, the unspoken accusation hanging heavy in the air. He remembered Kira's marshmallow comment, the tension between them on their walk home, Tina's thinly veiled warnings.
Right. They hate Americans. After, well, everything.
So they targeted this place? Because of us.
Hey, it's not your fault, Jeremy. It's common sense, unfortunately.
Jeremy shrugged off Steve's hand, the guilt gnawing at him. He thought about Pyra, her vulnerability, and Jeremy's own promise to protect her. The weight of it settled heavily on his shoulders.
Let's just clean this mess up.